friends, greetings from Burnsville. You can see the Tower Barn in the background and Livesey Lake. Today is June 11th, 2020, and it's my pleasure to join you here on social media, on our website, any which way we get to you. And it's been a few months since we released the head notes, and there's been a lot going on here at our school and in the world, and certainly in the US. I can tell you here some snapshots about what has been happening. Well, we had to close the school in the middle of March, at least close the school to face-to-face class meetings, and that meant that our domestic students couldn't come back to school after spring break. But then we had our international students who are across the country in different states and some in Burnsville, and we had to get them back to school because this is their home within the United States. So we figured out a way to bring them. Some faculty members had to drive out and pick them up. One of them drove 16 hours round trip and came back, and student was very happy to be back on campus. The teacher was very happy to be back on campus, and then we started our 2-week journey of quarantine. That was testing for sure, but we made it through that time. No one was sick, no one got sick. We had to do our temperature checks several times a day, had to deliver meals to rooms, had to deliver menus for the following day, and of course students then stayed in a Moreland house and a Mary Davis guest house. We couldn't use the dorms. And so we made it through those first 2 weeks. Then we made it through the rest of the quarter. And no one got sick during that time. In fact, going back through health records, that's the healthiest most of these students had been this school year. And part of the reason is because breakfast, all meals were required, and there were 2 salads. And most times we used to say, hey, eat your salad, eat your salad. So junk food wasn't part of the diet anymore. Sugary things were limited. All the biscuits, chips, and all these things that students love to eat but are not really nutritious were out of their systems for a while. They got to sleep, they got to study, and they got to think for a long time because they were mainly confined to their rooms. So I credit those international students who are on campus for a good 4th quarter. I credit the domestic students who did their work online by and large, and the faculty that came together to learn new ways of delivering lessons to our students and grading them and supporting them. So advisors reached out to students. We had to just figure out a way to be a community even when we couldn't all be in one place at the same time, doing things that we know how to do well in the spring. I missed Spirit Week. We missed junior social, but again, as I told the junior class, last year when they were sophomores, they put on junior social because we only had 1 junior. So they got their turn then. And for board meetings, we had already been through a Zoom meeting of the board, so we had already practiced. It didn't come as a surprise to anyone when we said, let's do Zoom for our April board meeting. It wasn't a shock to anyone's system. So some of those things, you really have to say that the universe is working together with you for the best outcome. What else can I say about that time? Graduation happened. We had online reunions. I was part of a few class reunions. I couldn't be there for some of them due to personal reasons, but those I was part of were incredible. The alumni gathering online was incredible. We had people who joined from Australia, from Hawaii, from Japan, and those are people that probably wouldn't have made a trip to Burnsville. So again, that was a gain that we made during that time. I've heard many people talk about disappointments, and those have been there during this time. And disappointments are part of any time. The thing is to see that silver lining, and those are the kinds of things I've been highlighting. And here's another silver lining, that while some businesses went out of business, and that's pitiful, we're sorry for them, we were fine by and large, and we continue to be here. That does not mean we are rolling in millions of dollars, but it means we are able to stay open without crying, sending out an emergency appeal saying we will shut down unless we get X amount. No, we are doing well. We're being good stewards of the finances, good stewards of the resources here, the natural ones, the built ones, and we'll continue doing that. So one thing this COVID pandemic has brought to the fore for me is that this school, Olney Friends School, is a school for the times. It certainly was a school for the past, it is a school now in the present, and it is a school for the future. Look at how many people want community right now. Look at how many people are now finally appreciating looking at the stars that they haven't been able to see because of all the fumes in the air and not being able to see anything in the night. And look at what we have here. Almost every night you can see, the stars. And it's incredible. You have fresh air here. We've been talking about stewardship, and more than talking, modeling it and teaching it in our classes, be it environmental sciences, agricultural sciences, others, even humanities. And that's how we try to integrate this curriculum. So this school becomes more vital now, more than ever, and we've been highlighted. Our students have told us, those who are not here have missed being here. So you can really see that this is some sort of safe place for some students to come to, and it's some sort of, what else? It's a home away from home for others, and then for others it's a good complement to where they live. They love where they come from, but they also love Olney. So it's not either or. It's to have the best of both worlds. And that has become even more clear in these past months. And I hope we'll continue attracting the right kinds of students, right kind of faculty to be here and to keep this place for other generations. And it is good that we have people who came before us and who made sure that we would have this place right now in 2020. We are not deaf to what's happening in the world right now. We know about the protests happening. We know about the quest for justice in many different ways. We know about the quest for racial equality. We have lived it as well. And there should be no question that Olney Friends School stands with anyone who is seeking equality, who is seeking justice, who is seeking peace across the world. We are with you, we stand with you. And I know we've all experienced these things, and it doesn't really matter what color you are, we've all experienced them. Some more than others, yes. And I just remember some of my students coming to do field work in Uganda, and they stood out. For the first time in their lives, they were in a minority, and they couldn't believe it. And people were pointing at them, and that was a learning experience for them. They went back to their countries, Canada, US, wherever they came from, Sweden, and that made them better citizens. Here at Olney, we've really emphasized these kinds of themes. Of course, we have our values. We try to lead with our values first, but then we also have our classroom experiences. It didn't come out of nowhere that this past year we had Baldwin and Morrison and Angelo and these kinds of authors on our curriculum and reading lists. Students delved into these issues of justice, racial equality, gender equality, all sorts of things, and they grappled with them. And students who say, why do you keep on making us read the same 30 pages over and over again of Baldwin? And I think things are getting clearer for them as well. Why that is, that you need to understand these things, these narratives, these conversations, where they came from and what they really mean for us. That we cannot say, that you can't say you are a human being if you are dehumanizing someone else. That's not the case. And that there's actually a possibility that we can move forward together in love and in unity, and that does not take away any sort of superiority that you have built up for yourself. No way. In fact, it only heightens all of us. These are things that students and faculty engage with every single day at Olney, and it will continue to be that way. For those who are there in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the protests, in the middle of them, we support you, we continue to pray for you, and we know that there will be a day when we don't need to protest to all feel like we are human beings on this planet. So I wish everyone well. I congratulate the class of 2020. There's one last thing that I didn't tell that class as they graduated, and that was the thing that I learned at Olney. It is to bide your time. Not everything is a rush. Not everything has to be here and now, done now. The immediacy of the thing may not be very valuable. Sometimes delayed gratification actually is worth it in the long term. That's the one thing I forgot to tell class of 2020, but I can share it here now. And so, friends, we'll continue working together. We'll continue moving together. Our hearts go out to you. And again, we end on a positive note. There will be better days. There will be better days. Olney Friends School, other friends schools, other communities that think alike across the world. Those are places that are testament to a better future, and it will come to pass. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful summer.